If this instinct played poker against deductive abilities, the outcome would be predetermined. Okay. And those deductive abilities, or at least their semblance, were hinting to me then there was no need to be afraid of this girl. Suddenly, somebody jumped out of nearby bushes. A girl wearing a bright red t-shirt with USSR written on it. Such a perfect reproduction of the age. She looked quite short from a distance and was probably younger than both puny girls, the one at the gates and the girl at the door of the clubs. At last I decided to come closer, but the USS, as I called her in my mind, jumped toward the first girl and started telling her something while wildly waving her arms. The other girl, in turn, seemed confused and lowered her gaze, remaining silent. I would have probably continued to observe their amusing dialogue, but the USS suddenly pulled something out of her pocket and started weaving in front of the first girl's face. This something turned out to be a grasshopper. The first girl squealed. She must not be too keen on insects, as she instantly rushed off towards the place where Lenin presumably made his speech out of work about the workers and presents revolution. That is to say, towards the square. The USS glanced at me, grinned playfully, and dashed after her. Not a bad start to the day. I have absolutely no clue where I am, beside that there are some kids here role-playing as pioneers. And as far as I can tell, this place is located thousands of kilometers away from my home. It might even be a different reality. And this was indeed a reality. I mean, everything around me seems so real, if a little embellished, that I was starting to think that in fact my previous life could have been just a dream. And what am I supposed to do now? I was picking at the cracked paving stone with my shoes and staring aimlessly at the club's building. Just a few more seconds before I have to come up with some decision. That's when I recalled myself rolling on the grass, weeping. I cringed in the disgust. Perhaps it's another instinct when all energy from whimpering and self-pitying is used up, the body either goes into hibernation or mobilizes its reserves. Mine seemed to have chosen the second option. Because out of the blue, I found the determination of figure out what was going on. And in order to do that, I had to act like a man, like a human, to maintain the dignity of representativity, the dignity of representativity of my own world. I followed the path to the left, on the right side of which stood small cabins, apparently the homes of the local pioneers. Actually, they looked quite cozy from the outside. Even though I was born in the Soviet Union, I had never been part of its children's organizations, neither the pioneers nor even the younger October children. I imagined the daily life of a typical pioneer camp a bit differently. Huge barracks with long rows of metal bunks, wake-up calls at 6 o'clock, played by sirens, 1 minute to make your bed, then joining the formation at the drill squad. Or wait, could I be confusing it with something else? Suddenly, something struck me on the back. I staggered but remained on my feet, turned around and prepared to fight heroically for my life. But all I found was another girl standing before me. My mouth hung open in surprise. Pick your yaw up off the ground. I closed my mouth. The same pioneer uniform, but the way she was wearing it looked like, let's say, provocative. Like all the girls I met here before, this one was rather cute, but her overly arrogant expression killed any desire to get to know her better. New here, are you? Fine. See ya. She threw a threatening glance at me and walked past. I waited for the pioneer girl to turn at the corner. Who knows what else she might have been up to. The most interesting thing was that even this hostile girl, Freudscher Verleser, ne? Hostile girl seemed completely normal to me. She did not give off the feeling of some deadly danger. Except maybe the danger of getting punched in the nose. At last, I managed to make it to the square. There was no leaning on an armored car. Also, one could easily expect something like that after all this had happened. Instead, however, a monument to a certain comrade towered in the middle of the square. The letters on the pedestal read gender. Must be some big figure in the party. There were some small benches at this side. It's quite pleasant here. Where did the girl tell me to go? To the left or to the right? To the left or to the right? To the left, to the right? And why am I going there anyway? Alright, I've decided to pretend to be normal. So, to the right. Through a small grove. I came out at a pier. Must have taken a wrong turn. Hey, wrong way! I turned throughout the voice. Wird immer besser. That first girl stood before me. No, what did I tell you? Take a left at the square, wasn't it? She had changed from the pioneer's uniform to a bikini. Oh, I still haven't introduced myself. My name is Sylvia. Actually, my full name is Sylviana, but everyone calls me Sylvia. So you can too. Yeah, I still felt a bit confused, so I could not come up with more meaningful answers. And what's your name? It felt like she could see right through me. Semyon. Oder Semyon, ich weiß nicht genau, wie man es ausspricht. Sylvia, nice to meet you, Semyon. Alright, I'm almost done here. Could you wait here a minute? I'm going to change and, go to Olga Dimitrievna together. Agreed? Agreed. Ihr hört's im Hintergrund.